What if I told you the king of Red Bull just got dethroned?
No! God, please, no! No!
After 20 years, countless victories, and 6 world titles, Christian Horner has just been fired.
There's no way. Just say you swear to God.
But the question is, why now? And what does this mean for Red Bull's future? And for Max Verstappen? Christian Horner wasn't just a team principal. He was the architect of Red Bull Racing's F1 dynasty. From the rise of Sebastian Vettel to the domination of Max Verstappen, Horner shaped 2 eras and built one of the most successful teams in F1 history. But in the summer of 2025, everything collapsed. Internal power struggles, off-track scandals, poor results, and now a bold decision that could change everything. Horner is out. So how did it come to this? And is this just the beginning of Red Bull's downfall?
Sebastian Vettel, you are the world champion! Unbelievable!
After years of dominance, 2025 has been nothing short of a disaster for Red Bull Racing. Coming off a historic 2023 season with 21 wins, the team has struggled to stay competitive. As of mid-season 2025, Red Bull sits in 4th place in the Constructors' Championship, behind McLaren, Ferrari, and even Mercedes, who looked completely lost a year ago. Max Verstappen? Still brilliant.
Yes!
But frustrated.
No!
He's only managed 2 wins this year and is trailing in the driver's standings. The once untouchable team is now vulnerable. And behind the scenes, the damage is even worse. In the span of just 9 months, Red Bull has lost some of its most powerful figures. Adrian Newey, the legendary designer behind every title-winning car since 2010. Jonathan Wheatley, Red Bull's longtime sporting director. Rob Marshall, a key engineer now with McLaren. These weren't just names. They were the pillars of Red Bull's dominance. And their departure sent a clear message. Something was broken at the top. And when the foundation starts to crack, no matter how fast the car is, the whole structure becomes unstable. But poor performance was only part of the story. Behind the scenes, things were boiling over. At the start of 2024, serious allegations were made against Christian Horner, involving inappropriate conduct and internal complaints. Red Bull launched a private investigation, and just days before the 2024 Bahrain Grand Prix, they announced Horner had been cleared. But it didn't end there. A massive leak of alleged emails and screenshots surfaced just hours later. It was a media firestorm. F1 fans, journalists, and even team members were left asking, what is Red Bull hiding? The timing was devastating. Sponsors were uncomfortable. Tensions within the team exploded. And as weeks passed, Horner's grip on power weakened. People close to him, including Helmut Marko, the godfather of Red Bull's young driver program, started distancing themselves. Even Max Verstappen's father, Jos Verstappen, made public comments, calling Horner a problem for the team's future.
You're a problem. You're a real problem.
This wasn't just a PR crisis, it was a civil war inside one of Formula One's greatest dynasties. On July 9th, 2025, after more than 20 years at the helm, Christian Horner was officially removed from Red Bull Racing. No press conference, no goodbye. Just a brief statement from Red Bull GmbH. Effective immediately, Christian Horner is no longer team principal of Red Bull Racing. The company will not comment further at this time. And just like that, the man who built the empire was gone.
Oh, no.
Inside the paddock, the shock was immediate. Engineers were blindsided. Sponsors went silent. Verstappen? No comment. The F1 world stood still for a moment, unsure whether to cheer or panic. For some, it was long overdue. For others, it was the end of an era. Over 2 decades, Horner turned a brand new team into one of the most dominant forces in F1 history. 6 Constructors' Championships, 7 Drivers' titles, 113 Grand Prix victories. But legacies don't protect you forever. And in the world of Formula One, loyalty ends when performance dips or scandal takes over.
We see the very best people in the world at what they do.
With Horner gone, Red Bull had to act fast. They turned to Laurent Mekies, the former Ferrari sporting director, now leading the charge to stabilize the team. Mekies is smart, calm, political, but he's not Horner. He doesn't have the same grip on the garage or the same trust from Max Verstappen, and that's where the real problem begins.
Oh, here we go again.
Because Max, the 3-time world champion, the face of the brand, now looks uncertain. His contract runs until 2028, but insiders say he has exit clauses, especially if Red Bull's leadership changes. And now, the man who helped build Max's career is gone. If the car remains uncompetitive and if trust isn't rebuilt, the unthinkable could happen. Verstappen could leave Red Bull.
No! God, please, no! No!
Mercedes is watching. Aston Martin is building. Even Audi, entering in 2026, could throw money and promises his way. Meanwhile, the team faces a full reset. 2026 brings a massive regulation change. New engines, new aerodynamics, new fuel rules. Without Horner, without Newey, possibly, without Verstappen. Can Red Bull reinvent itself again, or has the dynasty run its course? Christian Horner's departure isn't just a headline, it's a turning point in the story of modern Formula One. The man who led Red Bull to the top, who hired Vettel, who backed Verstappen, who built a legacy over 2 decades, is gone. But legacies don't win races, and Red Bull now stands at a crossroads. Without Adrian Newey, the visionary behind every title-winning car, without Christian Horner, the strategist and leader in the shadows, without internal stability, Red Bull must now reinvent itself from scratch. The 2026 regulation overhaul is coming fast. New power units, new aerodynamics, new fuel rules. And yet, Red Bull's internal structure is falling apart at the worst possible time. Will Laurent Mekies be able to bring calm to the storm? Will Verstappen trust this new direction? Or look for a way out? And what about their biggest rivals? McLaren is rising, Ferrari is finally consistent, Mercedes is rebuilding with a vengeance, and Audi is preparing its grand entrance. In a sport where milliseconds count, Red Bull can't afford to hesitate. But maybe this is what makes Formula One so special. Dynasties fall, new ones rise, and just when you think the story is over, a new chapter begins. So here's the big question. Will Red Bull survive the storm, or is this the beginning of the end? Red Bull Racing used to be untouchable. Not just a team, a powerhouse, 21 wins in 2023, a superstar driver, a legendary engineer, a visionary leader. But today, those days feel like a distant memory. In just 1 year, everything changed. Christian Horner was ousted. Adrian Newey walked away. Jonathan Wheatley left too. And Red Bull's dominance hit slipping. Max Verstappen is still here. But for how much longer? He doesn't speak the same way anymore. He doesn't smile like he used to. When you lose the architects of your empire, all that's left is a crumbling foundation. And in Formula One, that foundation can collapse fast. The 2025 season is a shattered mirror. Every race reminds us that the magic is fading. Meanwhile, the competition is not waiting. McLaren is flying, Ferrari is back, Mercedes is preparing a fierce comeback, and 2026 is coming, faster than we think. New engines, new aerodynamics, new F1. Does Red Bull still have what it takes to rebuild, or is it too late? That's the brutal beauty of this sport. One day, you're at the top of the world. The next, you're fighting just to survive. Vettel, Hamilton, Alonso, they all saw their reigns come to an end, and now, maybe it's Red Bull's turn, but maybe not. Maybe this apparent fall is just a transformation, a painful step toward a rebirth, because Red Bull has always been a team that breaks the rules, takes risks, challenges the status quo. And if there's one thing we've learned since 2005, is that they never quit without a fight. So now it's your turn. Can Red Bull survive this storm? Will Verstappen stay? Can Mekies bring stability back? Is this the start of a new chapter, or the final page of a legend? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. This story is far from over, and Formula One never stops.